On the Lions Den with Seth.
You got to feel what's inside. Don't let them take you for a fool now. Don't let them take you for a ride.
Welcome to the world, young soul, where untold adventures unfold. Where the moon shine and the sun glow. Plant seeds and see what grows. Water your garden with wishes and dreams. Free like a fish in the sea. But listen to me, not everyone listens to dreams. Some hearts are skipping a beat.
Boom, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Lions Den with Seth. I'm one of your hosts, Seth. Hopefully you're having a great time, a great Sunday, and you're connecting with everyone and everybody, and you're staying safe, all right? You ain't walking around sneezing all over people, right? Covering your face, washing your hands. Hopefully everybody's having a good time and a good day. Make sure that if you haven't done so already, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook to connect in this conversation. You dig what I'm saying? And share this. It only takes 2 seconds to do it. Boom. I'll give you 2 seconds. But all right, share it. That's all it takes. Let the world know what you're doing and who you're doing it with. Got my man's Larry. What's popping, man? How you feeling?
Hey, what's happening, man? How you?
Man, slow motion, bro. Slow motion sound. It feels like I'm finally getting a chance to slow down. It seemed like after 5 weeks of constant moving and flights and all this other stuff, man. But everything is good. So, hey, happy birthday to your daughter, man. How old she turned? 11?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, 11 years old. It's been a crazy weekend.
Yeah.
A bad football weekend for me, but it's all good, man. I'm ready to have this conversation.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Hey, but it's a good baseball weekend, though, right?
Always. You know, Cardinals always.
Man, what's the Cardinals like?
We got
like
the
14 and nothing or something like that? What is it, 16?
No, they went 17-0. They should be winning in the game right now against the Cubs, but I mean, it don't really matter because they're playing the wild card game on Wednesday against the Dodgers.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is. Right on, right on. All right, yo,
let's shout out the Dodgers. We got a chance. We got a chance. Make some noise.
There you go. There you go. Yo, what's going on, everybody? So make sure you're sharing this. And shout out to Will. He out in the background right now holding it down. Big Herm. What's up, bro?
What's happening? What y'all up to?
Man, slow motion, bro. It's another great day in the Lions Den. You know what I'm saying? What's popping with you, married man? How's everything?
Everything is good, bro. You know what I mean? It feels like I ain't been in here in a minute.
Bro, it seemed like it seemed like we all over the place, but today's going to be a great show, man. It's going to be a super duper show. But what's popping with you, man?
Bro, hey, I mean, watching the football games, you know what I'm saying? Same as Larry, you know, my Titans lost, you know. But hey, so I don't have a baseball team here. So I think I'm gonna pick the Cardinals for my team.
I don't like that. I'm just telling you right now. I don't like none of that. What you just said.
Yeah, Cardinals gonna be.
It don't sound authentic.
So we together on that, Larry.
You know what? Maybe y'all should just get with the Detroit. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, check it out, man. Shut up. Hey, check it out, y'all. We got my man Moses in the building. Yeah. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, this young man here has been getting it in with the Air Force Wounded Warriors. Y'all, he's a dynamic individual. Y'all, he's a heart of gold. You understand? But also in the ring with the MMA, this dude is a beast. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Moses Espinosa, my man. How's everything?
Good, man. Good.
How you feeling?
I'm recovering from a long weekend. I was with a bunch of friends, Porter Connor fishing. Man, I think I'm sunburnt. I don't know if you can tell, but man, I was in the sun for a day and a half. No cover, no shirt, just burning. But we got some fish, and we got a lot of red. We had to throw a lot of stuff back because everything's over 28 inches. So everything we were catching were 37, 38 inches, and the shark were all. Wow. Man, we had a lot of good shark steaks there because a lot of guys are pulling out shark.
Okay. All right, bet. All right. Well, look, man, I want to tell the world who you are as an individual. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you do so many different things, and they may only see you in those isolated, situations, from Wounded Warrior to MMA. Tell them, who is Moses?
Man, that's a hard question, But I would say, if I had to say who I am, I would say that I'm just a passionate person. I think everyone who knows me thinks that either I speak hard or I'm aggressive. Really, it's just a passion that comes out of it. But I'm also a very fair person where it comes to, like, I'm not going to judge anybody because of their stance, their belief on a certain topic. So I'm not. I don't believe in doing that. I believe in, we can have a conversation. You can believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. And then we were friends afterwards. So I want to be cool with everybody. Enjoy time. I enjoy training. A lot of my friends and family know I'm a fitness enthusiast. Even though I don't look like it, I'm 255 pounds, but I love to work out. And the latest thing I'm doing is a triathlon. So because I can't fight, so I got to figure out something else to do. Otherwise, I get fat.
What you got, her?
Hey, so what's going? First off, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure, honor having you here. So the beginning, right? You're from San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after high school, what was the beginning of your journey?
After high school?
Yeah, you graduated high school. What did you do next?
So at this point, we're in the south side of San Antonio. So if you know anything about the Air Force is a base called Lackland Air Force Base that's just west. And so one of the things that tell all their trainees is do not go to the right on military drive, because then you're going to go into the south side, and that's where I'm from. So graduated high school. I had a recruiter, man, the most annoying recruiter you can ever think of. Just kept bugging me about joining the student military. And at the time, that was my mindset, which is why I say it like that. I'm like, I'm not joining no military. And I was saying and regurgitating a lot of stuff that everybody teaching me. Yeah, and then you don't own yourself. Other people tell you what to do. And so I was regurgitating all that garbage. But then I got a job. My mom said, "Hey, you're going to go to school or you're going to go to work." Well, I had a scholarship for football at Steve Fowson University. I didn't go because I knew we really couldn't afford it. So I got into the workforce. And one day I got off the bus. I was walking home on a Saturday afternoon. And I was like, man, do I really want to be catching the bus, coming home on a Saturday afternoon? And it just so happens when I was thinking, I was right in front of the recruiting station. It sounds fake. And I was like, no, let me go see what they're all about. There was one recruiter there. And I said, hey, do y'all know a Staff Sergeant Perez? Do y'all know Staff Sergeant Perez? Call him. He's like, nah, he's off. Tell him I'm here. I got you, Moses. He showed up, did some paperwork. Monday we finalized it, went off to Marine Corps. That's exactly what happened after the Marine Corps, after high school.
Marines. Wow.
The Marines almost got me, man.
Say what?
Tell you the story about how the Marines almost got me?
Hell no. How that happened?
So in my hometown, all the recruiters, they're on like a strip mall, right? So, but they were all next to each other. Army, it was the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, and then the Navy, right? So the Marine recruiter had a pull-up bar outside of his, like on the sidewalk outside of his building, right?
Yo,
I'm walking to the Air Force, you know what I'm saying, minding my business, and the Marine recruiter came out and said, hey, man, come over here for a second. I'm a football player. He said, let me see how many pull-ups you could do. So I bust out about 14 of them, right? He said, yeah, you need to go ahead to the Air Force. You ain't ready for this. Oh, man, you got me messed up. I'll join the Marines right now. Boy, he read me so well, bro. I had to chase him into the office.
Man, shut up.
I swear, man.
Get out of here. Go ahead.
He got it.
Hey, Moses, just continuing on with that conversation about joining the military, because you were in Air Force heaven, like in San Antonio, for those who don't know, that is like the heart of basic training, Air Force. What made you decide to join into the Marines? And what is the Marine like compared to some of the other branches that you've heard about in your time since, your military service and Wounded Warrior? Yeah.
Well, there was two things that made me want to join the military. The first one, my brother, he was in the Army and he was coming home. And we were still living with my mom, obviously. He was coming home and he walked to the gate. He had his camis on, and just the way his sleeves were rolled and his boots were shined, and just the look he had when he was walking. I was like, man, I might want to do that, And so that helped motivate me. That was one of them. The other one I told you I was walking home. I was broke from work, and I was like, man, I don't want this anymore. Let me just do something different. And that's what motivated me to get in. Now in the Marine Corps, it's rough, right? So you don't have an opportunity to talk about how your feet hurt or your feet are hurt, but that's what makes the Marine Corps the Marine Corps. I'm not dogging anybody, but I
No,
love
no,
about the
no,
Marine
no,
Corps.
no. Yes, you. I hear you. You are. See, he was like, well, you can't complain about, you got a waiver. So,
No, man. Y'all got sergeants asking people like, hey, what do y'all think if we did this? What? No, and the Marine Corps was like, hey, this is what you're doing. You're gonna get that pile of rocks and move them to over here. What? Oh, okay, I guess I'm moving rocks. You don't even say what. You don't have the
I
opportunity.
mean, that's why y'all ASVAB score is the way it is, I guess. You know what I mean?
That's why they take the people with low ASVAB. That's right. We just want someone to shut up and listen.
yeah, bro.
But anyway, but to think about the environment, right? It's hard. It's like you're almost scared of the rank. It's a different level of respect to rank than any other branch of service I've ever seen. And I'm not dogging anyone. I'm just saying I noticed in the Marine Corps, the respect for rank is there from E1 to E2. Doesn't matter, right? So, but going to the Air Force now, what might be different, and they might be asking you for your opinion and your feelings. I mean, depending on how you want to look at it. If you want war fighters, you got the Marine Corps who's going to be, who can't wait to get them. They're like dogs that haven't been fed. But you wanted people who are going to make a strategy, people who are going to, hey, y'all Air Force people, y'all can present as well. Y'all know how to put on a presentation. God dang it. I'm learning that the hard way. I'm over here trying to catch up. That's all y'all do is present. Put a slide deck together.
Oh my goodness, man. Hey, but so all right, so that was a small stint. You did that for what? 5 years? How many years?
With the Air Force in the Warrior?
No, Marines.
I was in the Marine Corps just over 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. Okay, cool. So after the Marines, you got into the workforce, right? And so you did security forces. You was a contractor with security forces on Lackland?
Yeah. As soon as I got out, I went to a job at a grocery store around here. It's called HEB. I worked at their warehouse for about 6 or 7 months. And then my buddy, who was also a Marine, he was like, hey, I can get you on at Lackland as a contracted gate guard. And so I did that in 2006. And then we transferred it to DOD, I think, in 2007, maybe.
Okay. So how was that? How was that transition from being active duty Marines and taking some time off and then coming back as a contractor, but under the Air Force?
The only experience that I could tell you that was rough for me, that transition, was how to speak to people in customer service. Man, we don't talk to each other. You got to think the Marines, it's just, and it was infantry. I didn't do, what we call in the Marine Corps a pogue life. We didn't do that. So it's people always like being mean or talking. It's not even being mean, it's just being direct. And so when I'm at the gate and someone's like, stickers expired, and this Air Force guy's like, hey man, come on, just let me on. What do you mean, come on, just let you on? You're in the military and your stuff is not sort of way. Hell no, turn around and go park car in the business center, call someone to come pick you up. Like, I don't get what makes you can ask for a pass while your car's not good to go. I don't know. I thought that was hard. And then the way I had that conversation was like, no, what are you talking about? Well, that part right there was where I was wrong, because I should have been like, yes, sir, I understand. Yada, yada, yada. Go ahead and flip a UE. Instead of talking like that. What? No. It was bad.
What'd you think, Herm?
I agree with him in a certain aspect, especially when he talks about the ranks and stuff like that. I feel like the Marine Corps and the Navy are the two that have the most respect for rank, especially when it's talking about senior NCOs. So I give you that, but that's the only thing I'm gonna give you when it comes to all that stuff you was talking about. Okay, so you was in high school, you went to the Marines, worked HEB, you did the gate guard stint for a little while, and then after that you transitioned over to Air Force Wounded Warrior, correct?
No, so we got furloughed in 2008 when Obama became president. He did some furloughs in good old Air Force. They do what they do, man. They take care of their own, and anybody who wasn't in the Air Force were the first ones to get furloughed, which is understandable. It's not really a jab, right? But a lot of us Marine Army guys got let go, and I was like, man, what do I do? So I went back and got on my grind, right? I was literally cutting people's grass, washing their cars, getting their vehicles. Like, hey, you know someone who can tint some windows? Well, I'm from the hood. Of course, I know somebody who can do something, right? So or everything. It's like, hey, man, I can get somebody, let me get a card for you. And that was my wife's uncle. So I'd go take his car, go get a tenant, he'd give me money, and he'd pull it on top of me. I'm talking about I was doing all kinds of crazy jobs. But then her uncles also own IT company. It's an IT consulting company. And they said, hey, we don't know if you're going to fit, because you got to think, if you think I sound aggressive now, it was 10 times worse in 2008-ish timeframe, 2009, or actually it was 2010 by this time. And I was just different. I spoke a lot. I was just a little more rough around the edges. And so they're like, we don't know if it's going to work. We don't know if you're going to like it, but give it a shot. And next thing you know, you can start making some money. And I'm like, wow, look at this money, And so because of that, I got into the IT and the business side of IT. So don't ask me to fix a computer.
That's what's up.
All right, let's switch gears here and talk about how you either got into, I don't know which one came first, MMA or was it the Wounded Warrior, but whichever one came first after your contracting with the Air Force, what was your next journey in life as far as MMA or the Wounded Warrior, and how you got involved in that?
So MMA, right? Because I've always been fighting. A lot of people from the street will always tell you, like, hey man, Moses is a guy to fight. Now, you want to talk about doing other stuff outside of that, I'm out. But when it came to fighting, especially with my friends, I'm a loyal guy, and I was always there to back them up. And so fighting started for me at a young age. Got a little more serious in 2007, 2008. I was going through a couple of rough years and worked myself out of that. So then I was watching that Ultimate Fighter episode with my wife, and we were just looking at this thing, and this guy was really good, punching pads, hitting the bags really good. I'm like, that guy's going to win it. Just his skills alone are going to have him win it. And then he went over there and he quit, right? He got tired and quit. I was like, what the heck? It's because you don't have the dog in him. You don't have that fight. And so for me, I was just like, no, I have to get involved in this. I already fight in the street, but I'm already getting in. Let me go take it to a cage and let me see how it goes. And so I looked up a couple of gyms, found the best one that I'm still with today. I'm wearing the shirt, Brazilian top team. And I went over there and I said, hey, I met a guy at the front desk named Hafan. I was like, hey man, I'm trying to make it to Ultimate Fighter because I saw some dude quit. He's like, yeah. I said, it might sound, as he said, it might sound stupid. I said, it might sound stupid. He goes, why does it sound stupid? I said, I don't know. I don't know if you want to believe me or not, but I'm here to, be a fighter. And then ever since then, I've been there since 2009-ish, on and off, but I've been there consistently since 2015 with MMA. And I got into the Wounded Warriors in November of 2015.
Okay. Dope. All right. Well, look, there it is, man. So it just seems like you've been man, wearing different hats and different gloves. You get what I'm saying? So we're going to take a pause for the cause, but we are going to ask you to talk about this, right? Somebody said, look, your mom is waiting to hear how you got into boxing. All right. So yeah, so we're about to start exposing some things. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're so ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching, make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna take a pause for the cause. We got Moses Espinoza on, y'all, talking about his life fighting in the ring of life. All right, we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Seth with the Lion's Den. Are you or someone you know looking for a tool to help them be more accountable? Check out the Black Collar Mindset, the Art of Strategic Thinking. It's a manual to help maneuver through life strategically by holding yourself accountable every step of the way. Go to theblackcollarmindset.com to grab your copy today. Again, the website is theblackcollarmindset.com. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Let's get it together. One thing we can cherish during these times is family dinners. Think about it. The nice, succulent southern fried chicken, baked beans cooked to perfection, creamy macaroni and cheese, cornbread. You get the point. Come check out Kevlar's Grill, where all the meals are cooked with perfection, professionalism, and love. Located outside the Scott Air Force Base back gate inside the VFW is where you can find them. Also, they have military discount for all of our serving members. Give them a call. Their number is 618-416-5700, and that's inside Scott VFW Post 4183. And they also have Grubhub. Call them now and tell them that the Lion's Den sent you. Yo, welcome back, everybody. We got our mans in here, Moses in the building. All right. Yo. All right, y'all. So look, right before the break, we was gonna get into, how you actually got into boxing. So what's up with that, man? So apparently your mom is waiting to hear this. So what's up? Tell us how you got into.
I was gonna send them a text. I don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I have a couple that they might be talking about. I remember, like, my uncle's always, challenging me because, I would watch Oscar De La Hoya fight, and I'm like, I want to fight. And they're like, you can't fight. You can't stay in the ring you can't do 1 minute with the gloves on. And they were always challenging me. And then I also know my other uncle who made me fight a friend of mine. I mean, this happened all the time, but in our front yard, and then I actually made his lip bleed. And I didn't know what I was doing. I was actually thinking about it today. I mean, I don't know how I made his lip bleed. It was so bad. Like, my form was horrible. I didn't know what a jab was. So, and he was kind of a tough guy too. So a lot of respect to him. But I don't know what they're talking about. How I got into boxing. She might want to put it there. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Normally that's how it happens. You know what I'm talking about? So mom dudes know what's popping. But yeah, she know. What you got, Herm?
Hey, so you got into MMA because you saw somebody quit and you like, bump that, I'm becoming an MMA fighter. So during your journey as an MMA fighter, I'm sure you learned some things about yourself. Can you talk to our audience about what you learned, during your journey about yourself, about the MMA fighter? Do you have a different perspective of the guy that quit?
No different perspective of the guy who quit. That's not in me. That's in my blood to be like that. I'd rather die on my shield. And when I say that, I'm not a diehard fighter who's like, I'm gonna go die in the cage. It means that much to me. I'm not that guy. The hobby for me, I love fighting, but I'm not gonna quit. Like, my last fight, I could have pulled out. You can't see the scar, but because I'm all tan now. But I hurt my hand right before my fight, and I was like, man, I can't pull out. I got 50-something people who bought tickets, bought rooms, 3-hour drive. Now, am I going to quit like that guy who was hitting pads, or am I going to go there and die on my field, which means lose the fight, right? No, I'd rather go take a chance of losing a fight than pull out and say, I'm sorry, you wasted a couple $100. No, I'm not going to do that. So one of the things I learned, it's actually a big deal for me because I've always, from the South Side, I'm known to, I fight and I don't really care. And you better show respect. And the Hispanic community respects everything, right? So. And then my mom's girlfriend, she was the roughest. Like, she was like, you're going to let him look at you like that? You're going to let him punk you? That's a whole other topic. But, I feel like I'm a bit hyper masculine because I was raised by 2 women. It's a fun fact there. My mom's a lesbian, and so, and I don't have it as a jab. I know my family's watching. This is all coming from a place of pride of where I came from, what built me to who I am today. But anyway, yeah, so I was always able to fight. But when I got to the gym, I'm 6 foot, 255. And even when I wasn't 255, I was walking around 225, 230, always some muscular. And I had the grit. I don't want to use the other words, but I had the grit to say, what? I don't care if there's 4 or 5 of you. Let's go. Right. But when I got to the gym, man, there's little bitty guys in jiu-jitsu, and I was jiu-jitsu. Stupid. I'm not doing that.
Kick your ass, didn't it? Kick your ass.
Man, it'll make you
too.
They'll tell you real quick, man. I'm like, you're 150 pounds. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm too strong. I'm too crazy. Mm-hmm. You don't have it, and I might have them for like a minute. So I thought, and after that minute, and your hands are gone, your arms are tight, you're breathing all crazy. And they're like, oh, okay, now look, check this out. Choke. What?
Right.
What the heck just happened? So I learned that you can't judge a book by their cover, which I already knew that. Like, I'm not going to judge anybody by what they look like or what they say. But when it comes to fighting, what I've learned in my MMA experience, I can't say, oh, you're a small, skinny guy, so I'm going to run through you. Even though that probably might be the case with the training that I have now, but you don't know how much training that guy has. He might be a black belt in something, and I'm not trying to find out. So today, if you would have talked to me, 7 to 10 years ago, I'd be the first one to say, oh, no, you're the toughest guy in here. And I would try to walk away at least once. But 5-6 years ago, I'm like, what did you say? Boom, and then we would fight. So I've learned to really calm down, channel my aggression, if you want to call it that, and really just respect people where they are. Like, hey, just leave me alone. I don't want no part of anything. I'm here to, have dinner or whatever,
Yeah.
So
Man,
you know what?
hold on. Hey, yo, the UFC, you know what the UFC taught me, man? About the don't judge your book by its cover. Because you wouldn't have been able to tell me I couldn't whoop Anderson Silva's ass if I just saw him on the street somewhere. I would have thought I'm whooping him off top, and I would have been in the hospital somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, I would have looked at that dude like the spider. Okay, I got you. I'm whooping that. The UFC taught me you don't know what these cats know, man.
Bro, you don't know.
Chicken somewhere, chicken wing. These boys, man.
Hey, but you know what though? For what that made me think of, right? Herm is a complete nutcase, but no, seriously, it's a difference, ladies and gentlemen, within having a competitor and an opponent. You see what I'm saying? Those are two different things. Two different things. So with that being said, I believe it's important for us to have to compete with ourselves, right? To be the better version of ourselves. But our opponent is an individual that's in the same lane as you, but can help you become better. You get what I'm saying? So it's two different things. If you're competing against somebody that's not even in the same lane as you, it's a problem with that. That's something to evaluate. Quick game. What you got, Larry?
Yeah, I want to go back to the MMA because one of the things that I wanted to one of the things that you talked about was you was judging a book by its cover, which can happen in MMA. You see somebody that's smaller than you, and you're like, oh, I can take this guy. But one of the things that seemed like you learned was that the mental mindset was it helped you humble you in life as far as life journey, and that is not judging a book by its cover, but also exercising your mental mindset to kind of like humble yourself, channel your aggression, and be more cognizant of your surroundings, to not just take your size and your mental and your craziness and where you from and think that that's what the standard is as far as your progression in life. You want to touch on that a little bit more as far as how the MMA really humbled you and helped you get to the direction that you are at whatever point you are in life right now, especially how it ties into the Wounded Warrior.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting observation, man, because that was the exact same time frame where I was at work at my uncle's company. It was my wife's uncle's company, and I was like arguing with this guy and arguing with that guy. And I'm not talking about it was crazy, but just arguments and arguments and arguments. And I was like, Joe, you see how wrong this story sounds? It is his fault. He's like, yes, but you're the common denominator. Why are you always having these issues? And it was during that same time frame where I was learning about, like, man, this little 160-pound stupid guy is handling me, and I don't like it, but you have to take a step back, evaluate the situation. What is he good at? Now it takes us to fighting, right? What is he good at? What does he always do? Is his cardio good, or maybe he's not as strong? Maybe if I get eye control, what can I do to get the upper hand? Well, that I really did. And it's funny because in the Marine Corps, or actually at Lackland, when we went through all those classes to be a police officer, they're talking about verbal and mental judo, and it's just like same thing, right? I'm like, man, how can I beat this guy? MMA is a human chess match. Well, in life, it's the same exact thing, because if you would talk to my family today and ask them what I would have been 10 years ago, if someone would have said something funny to me, like, or disrespectful, probably aggressive, probably all this other stupid stuff, today I'd be like, all right, again, I'm going to walk away. I'm going to try to walk away once today. Now, what happens after that depends what you say, but I'm definitely going to do my best to walk away. But that journey helped me as a professional. And then the Air Force Wounded Warrior program, man, I can't, it's a love-hate relationship, because I love my job. I love what I do. And I love serving. But, man, they're changing me as a person from the inside, and I can't stand it. You're like, Moses, what are you talking about? How are you going to say something bad about work on the podcast that they're probably watching? No, but these people are teaching, like, compassion, and I hate it, because I'm not
come on, man.
Hey, you're getting kind of soft, ain't you?
Empathy.
Yes.
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 No. I can tell by the way you smile, you got some compassion in you, dog.
Yeah. See, yo, you don't like that. See, no, real talk though, man. I just want to touch on that real quick. When I first went to my first Wounded Warriors event, and where I met you, Moses, was that in Tampa? No, it wasn't Tampa. It was by McDill. Where was it?
It was
Tyndall.
Eglin.
Eglin. Yeah,
Eglin.
that's it. Yeah. So went there and didn't know what to expect. However, after let's say a 2 to 3 different stories of the warriors and where they came from and what they had to overcome, your mind is just blown, right? And then the way that they take care of each other, it's a whole different level of camaraderie that the Air Force doesn't, in my opinion, show. Now, there's other armed forces that have better camaraderie than us, i.e. the Army, maybe the Marines. But at that particular point, this was so foreign to me. And I'm like, wow, this is another level of actually caring. What do you think about that, Moses?
Nah, I agree. You can look. I can go get 2 recon Marines right now who've done a lot of stuff, and they're gonna have each other's back. But how they're gonna do it? And I'm not bashing them if they're watching. I'm not bashing, but the grunts are gonna get together and they're probably gonna drink a beer. They're gonna talk about stuff and just talk about stories that happen, making sure we're safe. We're gonna do that buddy check, as as everyone calls it. And the Air Force is just different. They do it right. They lead from the front. Again, I'm a hardcore Marine Corps, like. That's the only way to do things, right? However, when it comes to the wounded warrior and fixing people who have issues and mental issues, because everyone believes that disability is physical. You have to be able to see it. And then they're talking about invisible wounds. I tell you, I almost left after a year. After a year there, I see these people, my coworkers, and I won't say anybody by name because I'm not bashing anybody, but this really is a growth moment for me. That first year, I was like, this program is crazy. You're fake. You don't really mean what you're not. You don't really carry somebody's stuff. Like, stop it. You're fake. In my mind, I'm thinking that because I'm like, I would never do something like that. Like, no, I'm here to put these events on. I'm here to help out in the employment boot camp because I have all these experiences with resumes and stuff. And I'm like, this is fake. And then you see people crying. Everyone's crying. I was like, maybe I should go to my room now because everyone's sure. This is like therapy session almost, and I don't really care about what they have to say. I just want to leave. And I don't want to have to hear it, because I wasn't built like that. I wasn't raised like that. I come off hard. Now so after a year, I had to go educate myself. The problem I was having, you hear stories of people's PTSD stories and you judge them. And you're like, what? Like, what? You heard a bomb in the background and now you're all shook up. You have PTSD 100%. I'm making all this up. I'm not talking about anybody. But stuff like that was bothering me because I got people who got blown up. I have people who got killed, who's still fighting for their benefits with the VA. And you got Air Force people here. Again, this was my challenge 6.5 years ago, whatever it was. And I was like, man, this is no, this ain't right. My Marines doing this, my guys from Recon, they're not getting this kind of treatment. What the heck? I wanted to leave, but then things are getting better. And I said, I had to learn about PTSD. So I read up on it. I knew what PTSD was, what we call shell shock, right? That's all I knew what it was called before I knew what PTSD was. And I was like, oh, okay. What does that mean? And I literally thought about this. I was like, okay, because I was raised in the streets, someone can come over here and shoot everybody up. Us four are standing in the store. I'm gonna make stuff top of my head. I'm gonna scream at a little girl, Seth, you're gonna do the action. I don't know what everyone's going to do something different. You don't know what you're going to do until you do it, until that situation happens. And then they're going to come to all of us, the police afterwards, and say, hey, Moses, what did you see? I saw a Hispanic dude with a white hoodie. Seth, what did you see? Oh, I saw an Asian guy with, who came from back, not the front. And he was carrying a pistol, not a whatever happens, it messes with your psyche differently. So then I had to learn. I was like, well, what happened to me? Anything happened to me, I don't care how small it is, that created PTSD. Because people are going to think PTSD is for war, right? So I'm like, well, what changed in my life? Motorcycle accident. I have a big scar here on my arm. You really can't see it, but I had a really bad motorcycle accident, and it was made even worse because I didn't know I was allergic to morphine, deathly allergic to morphine, and it made all my symptoms worse, and I thought I was going to die. Well, now I don't ride motorcycles at all, but I can. But when I do, I'm not popping a wheelie at 100 miles an hour. I'm not taking corners at 120, 130 miles an hour. I'm not doing that anymore because I'm scared. And what is that right there? I didn't go to war for that little bit of PTSD. Right? I didn't go to war for that, but I did earn it getting in that asphalt. And so who am I to judge you on your journey because you heard, like going back to when I was making fun of them, you heard bombs in the background. yeah, well, that affected him. So I had to deal with it. And then I became a federal employee, and then things just changed and got better for it. And I went contractor to a federal, and man, it's changed me. Going back to the original topic and point was, man, the way people take care of each other, the way it's done, you're like, and that's why I make it a joke, like, you Air Force Wounded Warrior program, you're like, Jamie, I hate it because you're making me care, it's funny.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. What you got, huh?
Yeah, I like to go back to what you was talking about, like judging folks, because I ain't gonna lie to you, you know what I'm saying? Before I really sat down and thought about it, I was the same way. I was like, well, you ain't been nowhere. You ain't did anything. How you got PTSD from sitting here, you know what I'm saying? What, your internet went off? Like, what happened? You know what I mean? And so it took me a minute, man. It took me a minute, and I'm hoping that people listening understand the importance of that, man. As we evolve as people, we got to evolve in thought and understand that, just because it doesn't affect you and you can handle it, or you know what I'm saying, that's not your trigger, you know what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that it's not going to affect somebody else a different way and cause PTSD or symptoms as such. So, man, I give you much props for recognizing that, man, because a lot of people still to this day look down on that. And that's why when they talk about, you know what I'm saying, like people who commit suicide or whatnot, they must be weak or whatever, not really knowing what they really went through before they reached that breaking point. So it's like, man, more of that message needs to get out there. It's like, no, I'm not looking at you with judgment eyes. I don't think that you're weak because you're considering suicide. I think you're strong if you're out there to go get some help. You know what I mean? Go get help for what you're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to you, again, much respect for you for recognizing that, coming from a hard background and, where you've come from and whatnot, your journey, man. A lot of times we get hardened to that type stuff and think, man, think about how I grew up, man. You a punk. Mm-hmm. You probably grew up privileged with a silver spoon in your mouth. You know what I mean? And this is what broke you. You know what I mean? I get that. So you're Air Force Wounded Warrior now, right? You're doing that. How's the Air Force Warrior changed you outside of growing compassionate? You know what I mean? Like, what do you think about the mission, and do you carry that with you on the outside of your life?
Yeah, I think I've always had something. I know I always had something that I wanted to serve and give back because, I told you where I came from before the show. I was raised in the East Side a little bit, growing up. And again, if you don't know the demographics of San Antonio, that's not just the black side of town. That's back in the 90s. That was the poor black side of town. Then we moved up to the South Side, which again, all the stories are about South Side being the worst side of town, And so when I went to get my degree, so I have a degree, I have a bachelor's degree. And like most people probably don't say this out loud, but I'll be the one to say it. You go back to get your school when you get out of the military for that paycheck, that monthly paycheck. And I really needed it at the time. And so I was going to get that stupid paycheck, but then I started to learn, and then they had asked us hard questions. Well, what do you want to do? Well, and I'm like, I don't know. I just want that monthly check. And so they were like, well, what are you good at? Well, I've always been good with history. So I started going down that rabbit hole, and they started telling me opportunities. And just with a 20-minute conversation, this is how I knew it was already in me to want to give back. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind being a teacher. I go to school, get my history degree. I'd be a history teacher. But then I want to eventually become a principal. And I want to go to the principal at the hardest school in San Antonio, because I guarantee those little punks that were me when I was a kid, who, parents were going through unfortunate situations with drug use and the whole family, not just parents, but the whole family, the whole environment. Forget the family, the whole neighborhood was going through drugs, right, and going through all that stuff. So for me, it takes one person. You can hear, hey, Moses, get back up. It doesn't matter how hard you get knocked down, just get back up. You can hear it a million times until that one person says it. And for whatever reason, when that one person says it the exact same way, you're going to be like, oh, man, I never thought about that. And so for me, I was like, man, I can go become a history teacher at a high school. I wanted to get it in high school because I'm not dealing with kids trying to find themselves in the 7th and 7th grade and stuff like that. I need you to kind of already be past that point, but I wanted to get them and find them and and then create a program and say, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to create a program to say, get you out. I had a coach that picked me up, all the time, taking to the gym. And he saved me from a fight. I was about to get into a fist fight. He pulled me. He goes, man, you're too busy trying to be a thug you're an athlete and you don't even know it. And I was just like, what? And yeah, his name was Coach Thriss. He goes, man, come run the mile for me. I ran the mile and lapped everybody. Came in first place, ran a 5:12 on my mile, 8th grade. That was actually the first changing point, because then when I became a freshman, I became a jock, right? And then that path went. Going back to my service attitude and stuff like that, I think I've always had it and always wanted to get back. And so the Air Force Wounded Warrior program, while, I make these jokes about stupid program, I mean that in a good way, because they do lead the way on how you should serve and serve without nothing and give nothing back, right? And so I think most people serve like that. They don't want to get something back, but just the way they do it, and then adding all these feelings and compassion and putting all that stuff in it. Again, I don't like it. I don't like talking about it. We have to go through trainings as well, and I try my best to avoid it because I want to hear your sob story. I don't want you to hear mine because I don't want you to feel sorry for me, to be like, oh, poor Moses. No, don't feel sorry for me. I made some decisions. Look at me now, And so I think it kind of works hand in hand. But I've always had it. I think they're kind of focusing it, and I like veterans. I don't care if you're Air Force or not. This is a good spot for me to be. I don't see myself going anywhere because of the way they handle and conduct their business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that's dope. That's real dope. What you got, Larry?
So carrying on with what you just said, with the influence, your life, trials, tribulations, all that you've been through, what is your influence going back to the community? Because I'm assuming you're involved in your community in some way, some shape, some form. So when you go back and you go through, I'm just going to guess 40-something years of life experience, what are you telling the youth or the people that look like you or think like you, 20 years ago?
So I'm not in an active program or nothing. I did always tell my wife, like, man, I want to do that big brother, big sister, and it's some program they have. But man, the time, I don't have it. I'm working all day. I'm training all evening, and then I got to try to squeeze family, which I know it sounds backwards, but then I got some family time I got to do in the evening. So I don't really have time. But every time that I'll get that little funny story. We could go to church camp every year, and we had this one kid, really bad kid, wouldn't listen to anybody, just yelling and screaming and crying, just the worst kid you can imagine. Like, bring Moses over here. And I was like, it's not my kid. I'm not going to spank him. Like, what the heck? I'm not going to discipline this child. And then, but they brought me over there anyway. And for some reason, just by the way I spoke, he listened and he was a good kid. And he was by my hip the rest of the way. And so, I have a couple of people like that. But I think more than anything, this social media, I'm not I guess I'm on it now. I don't like the way we use it in our society, in our everyday life, but we do. The craziest thing, here's my eye-opening thing, is you can ask the majority of people when I was growing up, even all the family I have watching right now, they'll say the same exact thing. Everyone expected the worst of me. I don't care. They knew I was going to get in trouble and do something bad. My dad told me I was the next one to go to prison. That's a fact. They said
wait a minute. So you telling me everybody just set, so your bar was set like right here from the beginning? Is that what it is?
My dad told me you're the next person to go to prison. Both my mom and dad are both ex-convicts. Again, no mom, dad, if you're watching, no disrespect, but they're facts, and I'm coming from a sense of pride, because going to my degree quick, I almost flunked out because I was going for a paycheck. I wasn't going to actually get my degree. I wanted that paycheck. Man, I had to write a letter when I got to university. It's a program called 2+2, 2 years in community college, 2 years in university, right? I get to the university, I'm thinking I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing at the community college. Rude awakening. I started to flunk some classes. And then I had to write a letter. And so I had to write a letter to the chairman of the history department. And my letter, because then I had to really focus, like, man, do I want this or do I not? Well, I made a hard decision point. Moses, do you want to be better or do you not? Let's get this degree. But why did I want to get better? And that was what was in my letter. And I want my kids to know, hey, I might have come from the gutter of the gutter with the circumstances of everything being negative around me. Call it what you want. That's exactly what it was. Everything was negative. We had fun as kids, but when you grow up and look back, you're like, damn, we did that. Dang, like this happened. Wow, and that's when it affects you. It doesn't affect when you're a kid, So I want my kids to know, like, man, my dad came from way down here, and now look at him, and now he has a bachelor's degree, and I'm looking at going to get my master's. I don't know yet, but I am where I am today in this, and I'm not going to say it's a nice. It is a nice house, right? I have a nice house, I have a nice property. My whole system and structure set up with my in-laws is perfect. I mean, perfect to me, you know. But I want my kids to see that. But also, so now going back to the other point, going to the MMA. When I posted I had a fight in Texas, because all my fights have been outside of Texas, I had 55, 56 people show up to a 3-hour drive fight. I had a lot of them get rooms, and I'm not bragging about me. Man, I'm talking about like the loyalty, and I think people see the growth. Going back to what I was saying, I know people even in high school were like, "Yo, Moses, man, that's all he likes to do is party and drink and fight." You know, that guy right there. You know, and I know they were thinking that, and because I get people to, I just got off the phone. I literally just got off the phone an hour ago with my dad's ex-wife, and she says, "I thought you were going to be the F up of the family, and look at you proving me wrong." Her words verbatim.
Right.
Verbatim.
Are you serious?
An hour ago, Seth, an hour ago. Tell my wife, she's on here watching, tell her to put the post in. I guarantee she said that because my little brother's going through some stuff right now, and that's why she said, I'm trying to plug in my pad real quick. Sorry.
Goodness
Well, go
gracious. Yeah, what you got, Herm?
Hey, so you talked about
Hey, because look, hold on, Moses. Hey, Herm the same way. Because look, Herm, hey, I already knew Herm was going to jail. He was going to jail right after Air Force.
I've been throwing that before, but hey, when Larry talked about getting back to community, I know you mentioned Big Brother. Don't do it if you don't have no compassion, man. Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. I did it for one day when I was in Tampa. I did it for one day, and I had a compassion problem. And I was playing basketball, my little brother on a 9.5-foot rim, right?
Okay.
And I wasn't realizing I was beating him. I didn't realize what I was doing. I was like, oh, maybe I should throttle back and let him, score a little bit. Then I noticed he was crying. Then I started dunking him. I was like, damn, this ain't for me, man. I ain't gonna be able to do this. And I was dunking all over. I thought about to break the backboard on that little boy when I started crying. I was like, well, I just taught him a lesson, man. You can't cry to get nothing in this world. Hell, so I was like, Big Brother is not for me. Moses, don't do that, man. Find something else if the compassion ain't right, man. Or traumatize a little kid. Hey. But in these comments, man, I keep seeing people I feel like is either your family or like relatives, like family, friends, or something like that. So I just want you to talk a little bit about your family and how they helped you get here, man, because I know for like a lot of cultures, especially Hispanic culture, family is everything. You know what I mean? Y'all pretty like, from what I see out here is pretty tight knit, man. Family do everything together. They run businesses together here. Everything when it comes to Hispanic culture. So I just want you to talk about a little bit about your family and how it brought you up to where you are now.
So I feel like there's two different types. I agree with that, right? The Hispanic communities, like I said, a tight thing that comes to the family, but there's two different types of that, right? You got that loving, you have those Hispanics that the men are kissing each other on the cheeks, and you're like, what? I come from a tough love side of stuff, where it's like, get up, boy, dust your knees off. I told you not to play on the monkey bars, There's two different sides of that, but we're still a tight family. And then for us, you're like, well, how do we show our affection to my brothers? I don't talk to my brothers every day. I don't go hang out with them on the weekends. But if my brother called me right now and says, Moses, I'm at the store, and you're about to get me, come help me, I'd be right there. And I know if I called my brothers, they would come. And bigger than that, when I say Hispanic families are big, a lot of times our cousins are not even our real cousins. You know what I mean? Because just like, the one who just posted right now, he's like my cousin. He's not my blood, but you would never know that because he was raised right across the street, and that's my cousin. And then that's my cousin, and we're all family. And if I called any one of these guys that are on here, and I bring a big following because if people know where I came from. And then I got even people who, how can I say this? People who were important in the neighborhood. And I said, hey man, let me get in. Let me get involved. And he's like, yeah. And never let me. He took care of me. That right there is like my brother. I wouldn't say his name. I don't even want to put nobody out there. But there's guys out there. Well, everyone thinks they're hood and they're killers. Hey, these killers are just tight-knit families as everybody else, and that's why our community is super tight. And then, so for us with loyalty, like I said, I had 50-something people show up to a 3-hour drive. Man, I was blown away. Ask anybody who, I have a small circle. I let the emotions out. I'm not saying that I cry, but when I speak on sensitive stuff, I'm like, man.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
Fit
do.
no.
Yeah, you
Uh,
do.
nope.
Vast. And look, what you ain't gonna do is blame it on the Wounded Warriors. You see?
Yeah, that's always been at you, man.
Right. Hey, listen, look, I seen this dude blow on some pizza. Like,
Man, let me.
get
Was it hot or was it Domino's?
no,
It was hot pizza.
it wasn't hot. Man,
It
that pizza
was hot.
If it's Domino's and Anthony's Pizza, you gotta blow on them things.
Hey,
It's
he
got
was
hot
holding
ass
like
pizza on it.
woof, woof, and I
We
heard
were
him.
in St. Louis. No, he didn't hear. We were in St. Louis, and the pizza was hot. And I was like, I'm not gonna put blisters on the top of my mouth. And the next thing I know, he's like, "Hey Moses," I'm like, "Yeah." I thought he said something serious. No, are you really sitting there, big old man, blowing on that pizza? Go over there. What are you talking about?
He was blowing it long, like the whole thing. Hey, but listen, man, I do appreciate this, though. Hey, Larry, what you got, man, for your final word, bro?
Hey Moses, I appreciate you coming on. Your mom's confirmed that you're 36 years young. So the final question I got for you, if you can talk to the 16-year-old Moses, what would you say?
Oh man, the 16-year-old Moses. Channel that aggression. Okay, here's one. Again, this is all off the top, right? Because we're kind of just letting this fly.
That's it.
There's this meme that came out, and I don't know. I think it was Marines, and the guy was yelling, he's like, "Be a monster." People say being a monster is wrong. No. Be a monster. Be aggressive. Be almost cocky, and then tame it. But first, be the monster, right? Man, that video always stuck with me, and I only saw it a couple of years ago. And I would tell the 16-year-old me when I thought I was a monster, when I thought I was a monster in the streets, when I thought I was a monster in the places I probably shouldn't have been, and sitting here fighting with people or trying to pick with people. Man, be a monster, but tame it and put that energy into something better. Me today, I'm telling you, the biggest breakthrough I had was my first fight in Texas. The social media thing was blowing up. A stupid, I'm not even saying stupid, but some nobody kid from the South Side had a follow. Everybody, you should see the messages. Go get him. And then another guy with some party bus. Let's go show them how Southside represents. And I'm leading by example because I don't talk nothing the way I used to talk like when I was in high school. Not even close. Not even close. You know what I mean? And so for me, telling myself, continue with the don't give up. Continue to, eat everything. Be the boss. Like I really believe wherever I go, I'm in charge. I am boss. I believe it, but you got to tame it, and you can't just show it. You don't want you if you. And my boss says this now. She was, if you have to act like your boss, and you're really not the boss. If you feel like you have to show it like someone, you're really not the boss. That person who's making you do that is the boss. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good, So now I'm just me, but my people around me know. I'm not saying they know I'm the boss, but I'm a real alpha male kind of guy who has tamed my master, and I will continue to do so through MMA. And like uplift my community in the South Side and show it because they know who I used to be. When I was in middle school bad years. I mean, real quick, I had a teacher in the head with a stapler. I went to alternative school. I mean, that was really bad. We didn't even get to all that stuff, but my background is pretty bad. And of course, I wanted to be a funny guy, so that made it worse to who I am today.
Hold on, wait. How are you going to be a funny bully at the same time?
I didn't realize I was a bully until afterwards. Here, check this out, man. We can do this freaking for hours. I didn't realize I was a bully till a couple of years ago. Or not even a couple. I mean, I'd say 4 or 5 years ago. I was just having fun and having a good time. Little did I know, everyone let me do what I wanted to do and say what I wanted to say because they were scared of me. And not everybody was scared of me. I wasn't the biggest fish in the pond, but I'm just saying in general, because I'm aggressive, I'm loud, I'm athletic, so people kind of let me do whatever I want to do. Later in life, I actually apologize. I'm not even lying to a couple of people like, hey, man, I never meant to. My bad. Did you think I was a bull? Man, I was just kidding. Like, Moses, man, we're good. We're grown. Man, thank you. Don't bet against me because I'm not that guy I was 15, 20 years ago. Well, no, 20 years ago. And so, funny bully. I didn't know I was a funny bully, but that's what it was. I was joking, and I find out 10 years later, I was hurting people's feelings.
You walking around there giving people PTSD. Go ahead, Hurt. What you got, man, for your final word?
Hey, Moses. First and foremost, I want to again thank you for agreeing to come on the show, and I want to thank all your family members and friends for tuning in as well. You don't know this, but man, it's good to have another fighter on the show, man. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
It's like because I can relate to what you're talking about. You know what I mean? These two dudes don't know nothing about that life. I'm still trying to fight Mike Tyson.
No,
He ain't accepting my challenge, but anyway, you know what I mean.
Jesus
So
Christ.
I get you, dog. I'm here with you. You know what I mean. Let you know I'm here with you. They don't know what you're saying, but I got you, man. Thank you for coming on the show, man. Hopefully, we see you somewhere else down the line soon.
Yeah.
You next.
I don't even know why I did. I don't even know why I let him. I don't even know why I let
We
him.
verbal fighters, huh? We gotta be physical fighters. We verbal fighters, man. We beat you in a minute.
Verbal judo, man.
Verbal judo. Hey, with Toastmasters, right? But look, anyway, man, Moses, man, thanks for joining in, dog. Yo, thank you, man. Thank you, man. I do appreciate it. Do appreciate you being in the Lions Den, man, and taking your time out to getting in there with us. Is there anything that you would like to say to your audience, your friends, or your family?
Man, I as we thought about this podcast, I know the biggest thing I want to say the most, I didn't say it. I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna leave it with this because choices, man. This is what I wanted to talk about with choices. Man, make the choice. Make the choice to do the right thing. Make the choice to be the better person. Make that choice. It just takes one time for you to make a choice to do it the wrong way, and then you end up. And then whatever that choice was, if it had to do with drugs, or had to do with whatever, I don't even want to go into topics, right? That could set the pace for the rest of your life, right? And so I had the right people, even the thugs and gangsters in my life. They helped me make my choices, but yet they saved me, and those choices put me here today. Because if I got caught up in the stuff I wanted to do, I wouldn't have the opportunity to do what I'm doing and continue going forward because of a choice. And I don't care how rough you think it is, you have the choice. And I think you had a saying, I think you should repeat that saying, Seth, but you have a choice at all times.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
slow.
Yeah. So basically what it was you wake up every day with a chance and a choice. All right, a chance and a choice. Absolutely, man. No, you're absolutely right with that, bro. You're right. And I thank you for making the right choice and continuing on to making the right choices. Individuals see that, you dig, and man, congratulations to you and everything that you're doing, bro. You know what I mean? Yo, that's super dope. But look, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to conclude the Lions Den with Seth. Hopefully you enjoyed this show. Make sure you share this, and you subscribe and see us on Amazon and Amazon Fire and on Roku, right? To catch on everything that we've been doing and the other content creators. All right. So without further ado, y'all hold it down and y'all keep it easy, and we'll see y'all next week. Right on.